All right. Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. This is the regular council meeting of the Township of South Algonquin for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021, commencing at 9:07 a.m. And I welcome everyone. And I'm calling the meeting to order then at 9:07 and would do roll call. Councillor Collins.
I'm present.
Councillor Florent.
Here.
Councillor Harper.
Here.
Councillor Bongo.
Here.
Councillor Shala.
Here.
Councillor Vermeer.
Here.
And all members of council are present. Thank you very much. Item number 2 on the agenda. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda? Okay. Councillor Florent, you have put forward the request to add a resolution in regards to supporting the resolution from the Corporation Township of Terrace Bay. So that has been done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brian, maybe if you could forward the pages to the agenda, or to the first page of the agenda, that would be great. Thank you. So we would go then to item 3 on the agenda, adoption of the agenda. I have that moved by Councillor Vermeer, seconded by Councillor Bongo. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the agenda circulated and amended for the regular council meeting of June 2nd, 2021. Calling the vote, Councillor Collins.
For.
Councillor Florent.
For.
Councillor Harper.
For.
Councillor Bongo.
For.
Councillor Shala.
For.
Councillor Vermeer.
For.
And it's carried. Brian, can I give you a moment to pull up the agenda? Can I do that? No, okay. All right. Video. Does any member of council have the ability to send a text to Brian? I don't know. I don't see that I have right here, or I could do that. Okay.
Jane, you're looking for where we are on the agenda?
Yes, please. So we're on the first page of the agenda, item number 4.
Item number 4, yeah. And
It's just
I'm
not.
just wondering why I'm moving it and it's not moving. Okay. That
Shows it down the side of my page here.
yeah, it's not moving down here. Okay. Screen sharing, why is that not moving? I'm going to stop the share for a second and just see if it'll
That's good, Brian.
okay.
Yes, it's showing where we are, item at number 4 of the agenda.
Okay, for some reason it just wasn't scrolling when I went.
Okay, that's good. So we'll carry on. So with the business before us this morning, does any member of council wish to disclose a pecuniary interest? Hearing none, thank you. And item number 5, we do not have any petitions, delegations, or presentations this morning. So we're on number 6, the minutes of the previous meeting. Okay, so I have a resolution to, moved by Councillor Collins, seconded by Councillor Shala. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the regular council meeting of May 5th, 2021 as circulated. I would call the vote on that. Councillor Collins,
for,
Councillor Harper,
Four.
sorry, Councillor Florent. Go
For.
ahead. Councillor Bongo,
Four.
Councillor Shala,
Four.
and Councillor Vermeer.
Four.
The minutes are carried. So we're at agenda item number 7, and that's committee, staff, and council reports. Are there any committee reports? So we have staff reports, starting with the fire report provided by Chief Don Kruger. And, oh wait, okay, keep going. Okay, here we have, all right, we have Chief Kruger's report. Are there any questions, or Chief, are there any items in the report that you would like to highlight?
Yes, good morning, Council. Just would like to note for everyone, the third item there under training and courses, our new extrication equipment. We had in-service training for both stations. We had members from both stations attended last week. So those new tools they've been trained on, they are now on the truck and in service. Hopefully they will stay on the truck and remain nice and shiny and never come off the truck. I'd also like to note, I don't know if anybody's in the Whitney area has noticed the helicopters flying around quite a bit in the last few days. There are a couple, well, there's one fire still burning up near Gliskining Lake. The MNRF is dealing with that. They figure it's going to be another couple of days before that fire is out. And there was another fire that was a little further north and west of that, that started on Sunday. They had that out last night. And other than that, I have nothing else to add to the report, unless there's some questions from council.
Chief, I'd just like to acknowledge that I got the first notification on the, because I had purchased a fire permit.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Yes,
got a notification of dry conditions yesterday from it, so it is working.
Yeah, I kind of sent that out as a bit of a test. Tracy was in the office yesterday, and she signed up as well, and she got her text and an email. So that was kind of a test. I'm hoping there is some rain forecast in the next day or so. Hopefully we will get some rain, because the conditions are starting to get very, very dry. And if we don't get a bit of rain in the next few days, we may actually move into a fire ban situation. So I'm hoping that Mother Nature cooperates for that. But thank you for that, Councillor.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of Dawn? All right. The next report that we have is from the Planning, Building, and CBO bylaw enforcement report. And Tracy, as we know, is on course all day Wednesday. So Michael Anderson, our Chief Building Official and Bylaw Enforcement Officer. Mike, if you wanted to apprise the council of the report that you're putting forward.
I don't see Mike.
Oh, is Mike not with us? I'm sorry, I
didn't see him.
No, he's not with us.
So Mike isn't with us this morning?
That's correct.
Mayor Dumas, I can speak to the report if you'd like.
That would be great, Brian. Thank you.
So in summation, I think staff have identified that we've had a number of travel trailers that have become more of a permanent fixture on properties than a temporary, I'm here for the weekend. And they've raised some concerns with respect to long-term issues related to sewage and gray water, The fact that trailers, in fact, are not structures under Municipal Property Assessments Assessment Act, and that we have received a number of concerns related to multiple trailers and trailers in general being on properties for extended periods of time, and some are in better repair than others. So I think the intent here was to identify that we've got a concern that's growing with trailers, and that it's probably something that we need to take action under the comprehensive zoning bylaw that prohibits them, and maybe take another look if there's areas where maybe we should be specifically permitting them, and to address that by separate regulation.
Okay. Any discussion from members of council?
I just have a quick question. So at this stage, Brian, your main staff is mainly going to be sending out letters, just explaining to property owners, just reminding them about the zoning bylaw rules. And then if the trailers are not removed, I suppose at that stage, that's when we will maybe have a committee meeting and then discuss those more detailed action items as you described.
Yeah, absolutely, Councillor Bongo. Staff will send out letters to them identifying the sections within the official plan that specifically prohibit that permanent occupancy. And then if it continues to be a problem, then of course we will bring it back to council for further discussion.
Okay, super. Yeah, and just off the top of my head, I can't recall the exact wording in the zoning bylaw right now, but in the event where there is a permanent dwelling and then somebody sets up a trailer, how long is the trailer allowed to be there in that situation where there already is a house and a septic and all that other kind of stuff?
Councillor Bongo, I will re-verify for you. My understanding is that they're currently prohibited. Now, that said, anybody that has a travel trailer has one in their driveway. It's different than occupancy. So I think the concern here is specifically related to the occupancy of the trailer for extended periods of time. Specifically, how do you manage gray water? Is it attached to a septic system? If it is the septic system in compliance with the requirements to have the additional loading? Is it connected to well for water? Are all of the regulations that should be in place to ensure that people are safe when they are using these facilities? And where they're not, we'll figure out how to manage the regulation going forward so that it's in the best interest of the greater community.
Okay, super. Yeah, I really appreciate the report. Thanks.
Who was that, Richard?
Yes, I have a comment. I'm just wondering if are we dealing with this differently, or because I know I've received a complaint about a number of trailers moved on to a particular property. I think it was passed on to the township. A situation like that, 4 or 5 trailers, for example, but in relation to possibly someone that's moved a travel trailer onto a site with the intention of building. And I guess when I look at, thanks to our official plan, we're able to finally sever, and there's a number of properties that have been severed and sold recently, and they're pretty pricey properties, upward of $100,000 to $200,000. And I guess from my own experience and seeing what's gone on over the years, it takes a while for someone to get that lot actually established so that they can build, and to clear it and then get a road built and etc. So these people are commuting back and forth on weekends, and I see a difference, like I said, between somebody that's possibly making a mini campground compared to someone that's on an individual 100 acres or 50 acres or whatever it may be. And if we were to force them onto Crown land to camp rather than on their own property, have we actually gained anything within the township as far as environmental protection. So, and I don't think so. And I guess I'm wondering, I think this requires a lot of discussion, maybe not at this meeting, maybe at a different type of meeting. But
I
just-
think we're,
I guess we just need to, I think we need some discussion around this, and because there's different situations, and I've seen just recently roads constructed and the trailer put in, and they're certainly not permanent residents. At the most, they might be 2.5 seasons. And it takes time. You have to creep before you walk, and to get this in line so that they can build that house, and then the taxes will flow. So anyway, I think there's a difference between an individual trailer and a number of trailers on one particular property.
Richard, may I add in here? I think we've covered this. If the trailer and the property, and there is a building permit that has been issued for somebody potentially building a home, I think that's a completely different situation than what we're looking at now. And I do believe it's a 3-year they have to stay with that trailer if a building permit has been issued and building is commencing, or clearing, or what have you, with the potential of building. But I think if no building permit has been discussed or even approached, I think that's where we're looking at trailers just being put on property with no intention of building. I think we have 2 different situations here.
I
And if I-
agree, Sandra. If I may respond, many times when people are constructing, getting the site ready, they don't have the building permit because they're in the process of clearing the lot and clearing the right of way for their road, etc. So, and the building permit follows that. So, but it's that initial stage that maybe is exactly what I'm talking about. Once the building permit is issued, that's fine. But there is a time period prior to them getting the building permit from taking ownership of the land. And I think I wouldn't want to see us forcing them onto Crown land to do that clearing on their lot or whatever they are, because, and I just talked to someone that's traveling up here on weekends from somewhere in the St. Catharines area, coming for a day to work, and it's pretty difficult. So, and I don't see any trailer there, but I know what he's trying to do, and I don't know where he's staying, and that's none of my business. But I just see a number of concerns here, but I definitely don't think too much of the idea of developing a campground on private property without the necessary permits, where there's a number of these trailers going up.
And if I may, it's Jane speaking. I think the letter is a way to introduce the building process to individuals too, if they haven't at this time had the opportunity or the time to drop in at the township and talk to staff to get the rules and regulations, or perhaps they've used our website to get that information. I think there's another issue that's occurring in South Algonquin right now that may have some impact on people's impressions of what they can do here. There is a lot of development going on in Crown land. I've seen it myself. I've seen roads put in. I hear trailers are popping up on Crown land in South Algonquin in various places. So people could see that happening and not being aware of the fact that it's Crown land where development is occurring at this point in time, with or without the knowledge of the MNRF in the Bancroft, Minden, South Algonquin areas. So personally, and I would turn it back to you, Brian, but I see the letters as an opportunity to give information, not to be rude or anything, but did you know, and that there is a process that you have to go through. And certainly if people are working on their lot to set it up to build, that's fine. But it would be nice that we knew that. Any further comments, Brian?
Yeah, Jane, thank you, Mayor Dumas. Definitely, I think that this is a process of educating people about our comprehensive zoning bylaw, about educating about the official plan, the provincial policy statements that are in place that we're all required to adhere to, and our planning requirements are all fall under that. Certainly right now, our comprehensive zoning bylaw does prohibit people living in mobile homes, such as these travel trailers. So certainly it's something that maybe further discussion at another date to discuss how council wants to manage that going forward. But certainly as of the moment, I think it's an opportunity to bring forward to the residents, seasonal and otherwise, that there are certain regulations. Here's where they are. Here's how we can work around those at the moment. And if they have serious concerns with where things are, we can bring them back under a planning matter and review them and determine whether or not there's something we can do that'll still meet the requirements, the provincial requirements and ours.
Possibly that should take up some space on the newsletter.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Certainly, I'll make sure the newsletter that's being prepared, I believe it goes out this month, we'll make sure that that's been included as well. A little article about mobile homes and occupancy on private lands.
It's Councillor Florent here. I'm just a little bit afraid of a small little blurb in a newsletter misleading or giving the wrong advice. It's not a one size fits all situation. I think there has to be a lot of discussion on it, but at a council meeting isn't the right place for that. And I think that we can just make a note that Mr. Anderson or Tracy schedule a committee meeting to address this, so we can do a little bit of research on it first and come up with some ideas. I think it's going to require some amendments to our comprehensive zoning bylaw, especially because it's not a one size fits all. And there's a big difference between a small 25-foot camper trailer or a 60-foot, what used to be called a mobile home. There definitely is a difference. And right now our zoning bylaw doesn't acknowledge that difference. It treats them all the same.
Thank you for that, Councillor Florent. And I thank all members of council that spoken and others that, I know you're listening, and I think you're right. I think staff were giving this notice, this information to us as notice, and I think it needs to go to an asset management committee meeting, and we could book that. The other item I think that should follow along with this when we do take it to the asset management committee meeting is that neighboring municipalities, more in the Haliburton area, there's now a new app that like Airbnb, but now it's a camping app. So what's happening in neighboring municipalities is that people with private property are allowing people to come and camp in tents and trailers on their property within the municipality, and that's causing problems as well. So I'm aware that that's already occurring in South Algonquin, so I think we need to add that into the asset management committee meeting. And I was going to bring an article into the office after this meeting about what's going on in Haliburton with this, where the camping on private property is happening, and it's quite a concern, and they're trying to, their bylaw doesn't allow that either. So maybe, Brian, we could bundle this together and put it to an asset management committee meeting.
Yeah, Mayor Dumas, absolutely. I have made note of it, and I will ensure that we'll bring that forward, because obviously tenting is more of a tourist commercial type activity, and would require appropriate zoning as well for them to be able to do that within our own comprehensive zoning bylaw.
And these do impact on businesses, and that have gone through all the hoops and set up their business, to rent out or to provide that service to individuals in our community. And there seems to be an ability for individuals to start to do it in their own, on their own property, whether, you know, in spite of our bylaws. And I don't think that's fair to the businesses that have worked hard to establish themselves as a destination in our township through the proper channels. So anyway, just feedback, and we will book a meeting then. Any other discussion on that? All right, thank you for taking us through that one, Brian. The next reports under committee staff reports are yours, the administration reports. So I would ask you to bring those forward, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Dumas. Quickly, I just want to thank council again for giving me the opportunity to join your team here and to work with your staff and yourselves and the greater community. I officially took my role as of the 18th of May. I am hoping that we could schedule an admin HR public relations committee sometime in June. I would recommend probably the latter part. There's a number of regulatory bylaws I think that we should have some discussion on, and I believe committee is the appropriate place for that. I guess we'll also need to maybe come up with a date to set an asset management meeting now based on this discussion here today. I don't have any action items in your packages this week. I do apologize for that. I've kind of gone back and gone through any email and mail that we've received since the 5th of May. So your next packages for July might be rather large. I do apologize for that in advance. Our finance, we've received a report from Jennifer. I've attached it as well. I think the two highlights were a couple of action items that were in KPMG's service delivery review. One of them was a requirement to remove the mayor from signing off on timesheets. I think that that's still very appropriate as it relates to my own timesheet. It helps to ensure that I'm being accountable for my time with council. And I brought forward a resolution with regards to that. And the other item that I brought forward was also the approval expenses. It's not common practice for the monthly payables to be brought forward to council. KPMG has identified that, and I've brought forward a recommendation in accordance with and in concurrence with those two items in KPMG's report as I work through that report and try to identify some of the easy items to manage, and then some of the more difficult items that are going to take a little more time and get them organized.
Are there any questions of Brian on those items? No. Would council like to book those meetings right at this point in time? If you have your calendars available, we could do that. We're talking about an HR, human resources and administration meeting, and I believe, Brian, an asset management meeting as well, asset management.
I just wanted to remind everybody while we're doing that, that we already have a committee of adjustment meeting scheduled for the 15th.
Is that the 15th of June you're talking about, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have that in my, okay. So Brian, were you thinking into July for these? I mean, these two meetings that you're thinking about?
Well, certainly, I think, Council, I have the ability to have I've already been preparing a lot of the items within the needs of the administration for bylaw and such. I don't see any problem if council wanted to have these meetings in the latter part of the month and staff being able to have that information prepared and ready in time. I do make habit of meeting with committee chairs prior to the meeting so that they're fully versed on the items that are coming forward, and they have opportunity to ask any questions that are necessary prior to the packages going out, and I can ensure that things are presented in a manner that is most appropriate for council. So I would suggest the latter part of the month. I'm not sure whether council here normally would take July or August off. Some of my past practices have had councils that take and have no meetings except emergency type items in the summer months. I've had others that have chosen to have meetings all through the summer. So I defer to council to make the decision as to timing, and I'll ensure that staff have the appropriate information available at that time.
So, council, we have in the past tried not to have meetings in July and August because staff like to take holidays at that time, and members of council have certainly appreciated in the past a reduced summer load. So I would suggest we look at that last week in June and see if we could book the meetings on one of the 28th, the 29th.
Or we could do Wednesday the 23rd and Wednesday the 30th.
If that would work, that's reasonable.
All those dates work for me. My calendar is pretty good right now for the latter part of June.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good with both those dates as well.
Oh,
So
my.
Brian,
It's Richard.
okay, thank you. Brian, your schedule would one on the 23rd and one on the 30th work for you?
Absolutely, I could make both those dates fit into my calendar. Fortunate thing about having been new, I haven't got a whole full, my calendar isn't as full as it normally would be at this point. So, and my priority is always ensuring that I'm available for council when they need me.
Okay. All right, so should we tentatively book on the 23rd? Which one would you like to do first, Brian? Does it matter, or does it matter to council?
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so 9 o'clock on the 23rd, we would do HR and admin. And on the 30th at 9, we would do the asset management one. Does that work? Everybody have that in their calendar?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm good.
all right,
We're good.
perfect. All right. All right, thank you, Brian, and I apologize. I certainly meant to introduce you prior to starting this agenda, so thank you for speaking up and letting people know who you are and that you are with us as our new CAO clerk treasurer, and council is looking very much forward to working with you. Your vast knowledge in municipal, municipal law, municipal processes, and your association with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario in the past are certainly skills and knowledge base that you bring to our council, and we welcome you and thank you very much for choosing South Algonquin as your place of employment.
Thank you to council, yourself and to council.
All right. All right, so we are at number 4 in the committee staff reports, and we have Dave Gatley, our Public Works Superintendent. Your report is there, Dave, and ask you to if there is what you would like to highlight, and then we'll take questions from council.
Thank you, Mayor Dumas. Yeah, I would like to talk about dust suppression. First item in my report. We've had a few requests to get calcium down early. Our usual target is before the July 1st weekend. We're still on track.
We've got some council member study has background noise, if that could be compressed.
We good?
Okay, I think so, Dave. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so the grader is being repaired today. That had some problems in the hydraulic cylinder. But we're going to commence the second round of grading beginning next week. We're, as Dawn mentioned, hoping for rain as well. There is supposed to be rain overnight, but it has just been endless sunshine and dry. So one of the things that we're facing, I spoke to our calcium supplier, is that these same conditions are happening elsewhere, and calcium is backed up in delivery. They've committed to us, to get trucks to us and still make our deadline. But one of the things that we may have to look at is water. Our supply of our water tanker is still not here. The tank is in Guelph. It's at their facility, and they are having shortages for engines and valves. So they're waiting for the engine to show up and the valves that operate it. It's all backlogged due to slowdown in supply that we are starting to experience also with equipment parts. And some inflationary costs that are going with this kind of thing. So I've reached out to two companies with water trucks. And there are two available. It would be, if we end up having to go that route, it would probably be an unplanned operational expense of an additional $7,000. So, I know calcium is important. Hopefully the weather cooperates, but that's something we might be facing, and to get a decision on. So I would just like to get council's feeling on, whether we go ahead and absorb that expense need be and still complete before the July 1st long weekend, or wait for Mother Nature a little bit.
Dave, this motor that you're talking about, is that for a pump to load it?
That's right. Yeah, they're apparently they use Honda engines, and there has been ports closed. There is supply problems, and a number of their parts are on back order and not arriving. So he's told me I'm basically calling him twice a week, and as soon as the motor shows up, we could have it as early as next week. He's saying, but it's more likely 2 weeks out. So the tanker is there. It's been assembled other than those parts.
I'm just wondering if we could take delivery of it the way it is and then put the pump on after, because there's lots of pumps in the township.
Well, possibly I could try that. It's a trip to Guelph, I suppose. Maybe I'll just try and find, on that note, maybe I could try and specifically find out which parts are missing, and see if we could do something like that. I will look into that.
Any other discussion on that?
Dave, it's Richard.
Yep.
Regarding the dust, I represent a lot of residents that primarily gravel roads, and I'm on them myself daily, so it's quite dusty.
Oh yeah.
And if we don't get the calcium down before the long weekend in May, or the long weekend in July, we know how everybody's been penned up in the city wanting to get to the cottage based on COVID restrictions, and so there'd just be a super amount of traffic, I think, and the dust to go with it. So, and that'd be like following. I was in the Rock Lake Road here on the long weekend in May, and they had just graded it, and what that was like.
Oh yeah. I think that, if the $7,000, if we had to absorb that cost, it would likely not overrun the departmental budgetary allowances. It would certainly overrun the line item. That would be my take on it. The other thing that's occurring is it's getting hazardous with two-way traffic. The dust is to the point where you can't see on corners. We have some bag calcium that we've been trying to use in some key places, but obviously we can't, we can't cover it all. So
the value
into the water tanker, and I guess need be, we'll have to get a water truck.
Mm-hmm.
The value of your calcium will be, you'll get more value out of it if you were able to water the road prior to putting the calcium down than if you don't. And so you're between a rock and a hard place. So I don't know. I think it's important that we do it. And also I found personally myself, and I looked after applying that or having it applied on gravel roads previously. We used to put it down at 5 o'clock in the morning when it was damp, and that helped also. So
David, Jean, that $7,000, does that mean we get the water truck, and just as what Richard has alluded to, can we use it indiscriminately? Like, could we run it 24 hours a day if we wanted to wet those roads down? Or is there a usage fee?
It's a operated item with a driver at basically going for $90 an hour.
Okay.
And yeah, the trucks would be coming as far away as Pembroke. All the other water trucks are tied up.
But would they come and like if they were doing into Sabine, like they would just load at a lake and just stay there and do it? They don't go back to Pembroke for the water, do they?
No, they'd be getting water locally and they work the day. We had to use them for sweeping a little bit this year too. And
Okay.
basically just load up and that 10-hour day, they're watering continually. You know, working with our operation, obviously, so they would be either watering, you know, be ahead of and behind the calcium application to set it properly, depending on how
Yeah.
dry the road is.
You know, I think that would personally, and I mean, that's discuss approval of council, but I think this is an opportunity to look at a different process with our calcium, and maybe down the road, this might be a better way to do it. You know, if we get these vehicles come in, wet it down before the calcium, put the calcium down and wet again, we might, you know, we might get more efficiency and better results for the money that we're putting out with the calcium process. So I certainly support getting this water truck in. I don't know if we need a resolution or just give staff direction, yourself and Brian, to go forward.
I don't think it would upset departmental budgetary, like departmental amounts. So we likely could look at absorbing it within the departmental budget. In my mind, it would be just a consensus.
Okay, fair enough. I think we have consensus of council on that. Should I ask individually, or is there anyone who doesn't think this is a good idea? Hearing none, I think we have your consensus, Dave, on the renting of the water truck.
I think with that, when we finally get this tanker in the future, we would certainly incorporate it into calcium application on an annual basis.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And sorry, just carrying on, we're getting you know, some maintenance work done around the township. We had some collapsed culverts on North Mackenzie Lake Road, and while we were in there, we replaced 3. We had to look at some other ones that have been real problems. So they went very well. The traffic is so light right now that we're able to do them far more efficiently than when it gets busy. Just going on into the landfill sites, our annual shredding operation went well at both sites. We're just still moving into Erie tomorrow. Actually, later today, we're moving some equipment to do the tidy up from all the shredded material and sort of do our annual maintenance before we start using that site to landfill for the season. Would like to just also draw some attention to a hazardous incident that occurred at the Erie site last Wednesday. We had we've had a lot of high winds lately, and that site is prone to, you know, it's up high and it's prone to wind. So some recently placed roofing material, I mentioned here that it was soffit, but it was actually steel roofing. I went and actually looked at it, and it became airborne with a wind gust and struck a vehicle. I've spoke to the attendants and put some thought into it. Predominantly, this site gets wind from the northwest, as everywhere else, but you know, winds can come from all directions, and there's a number of things in that construction site that include, you know, steel roofing material or pieces of plywood or anything that can come off of that construction and demolition pile. So I think much like they do with construction sites down in cities where they get high winds, we probably have to look at a temporary closure if we get these kind of conditions happening again. There is really no way to build a windbreak, you know, that would protect from all directions. They're pretty rare, but I think due to the hazards that can happen, I'll have to leave it to the attendant's discretion to possibly go to the gate and just close it with some signage and you know, let people know that the site is temporarily closed due to high winds. Obviously, we can discuss this if anyone would like.
No. I think that's a reasonable recommendation. I mean, that's, you know, that's a process, and it's a safety, you know, it's a safety concern. So as you say, if you have the signage right there right away, that the attendant can close the gate and put the sign up, and just, you know, when the winds close down, open up again, if it's in the time frame.
think we would leave them posted at the gate, you know, just to talk to
Okay.
people and monitor the situation, and then just also watch for things being dumped at the gate, because we all know how that can happen.
Dave, it's Richard.
Yep.
I hear you. I'm just wondering if at one time prior to you working with us, Jerry used to store some of those sheets, metal roofing or whatever, down at the bottom, basically parallel to the road, down in that hole. And I'm just wondering if it wouldn't, if you if you're able to look at that and the possibility of maybe making a side trail down there. I believe there was one. It's sort of in behind where your reusable container is there.
Yeah.
And it'd be more sheltered because it's down and it may be out of the way. And if we were able to find a location, it may just prevent that material that was intended to go to the dump from being dropped off somewhere between the dump and wherever the resident was bringing it from on Crown land. And because that's likely what's going to happen if we close it. So, and then also then if we were able to find the location, it takes the onus off the attendant, and it doesn't have the friction. So anyway, I appreciate if you take a look at that. As a matter of fact, as a chair of the waste management, I would go and look at it with you and explain exactly what I'm talking about on site if you want.
We can discuss some alternatives. Certainly, I do have to pay attention to our C of A and, you know, being out of bounds and things like that. But, you know, we can certainly discuss it and look at some alternatives.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I can move on to docks. Docks went in fairly well. Just like to point out, when we were putting in the Gallery Lake dock extension, we noticed there was what appears to have been a little bit of mischief there with some rocks being pulled out of the existing crib and deposited in the ramp. So we did remove them all, but some people that were using that ramp, you know, ahead of us getting there to put the dock extension in, I guess encountered these rocks with their trailers. So definitely they had been pulled out of the crib. They did fall out on their own. So we're just keeping our eye on things like that right now. Just carrying on to our work plans, the spring site maintenance at the Erie boat launch went fairly well, or the Allen Lake boat launch, sorry, and we've created a lot more space in there. We did just get in under the wire before that got quite busy. If we get another opportunity, we're going to go in and try and do a little more where the bumper curbs are. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with it, but they've become damaged from winter snow plowing operations, and they need to be reset to straighten that area up. We replaced the failed culvert on Stubbs Lane. That went well, and we are still working on Macaulay Lake Road improvements. Probably about 1 week of work left there to get to the end of it, and it's coming out quite good. Then we'll
Dave,
be moving
it's
on.
Councillor Vermeer. Could I just interject here, Dave?
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to say the parking lot looks good at the Allen Lake boat launch there, and people have been asking when the floater, the plastic floater, is going to go in.
Yeah, I had mentioned that we're going to put it in our first opportunity. We're catching up on a little bit of site maintenance from the shredding operation, and then I'm hoping for next week.
Okay, that's good. As long as I can give them a ballpark, that's fine.
It needs to be power washed again, so we're going to get down there and clean it up, and I would like to get it in the water as soon as possible. Everything's ahead of schedule this year, and people are looking for it.
Great, thanks so much.
We'll be moving on into Shields Road after Macaulay, and would like to just mention quickly about the branding plan signs. I know I had mentioned I would get some mapping around the council, and I will still do that. Just trying to get some information back from the MTO right now, and it is proving to be a slow process. So I'm working with our contractor, and I've got the Ontario guide to it's called the Bush Country Highway Signs guide to installations, and there's a couple signs we're having some trouble with that would probably not pass the permit process. So I hope to get you some information on that, say by next week. And then finally, the Allen Lake Road repair from the dam washout last year. I've gone out to 3 contractors, and we have a favorable price. I'll be meeting with them tomorrow actually to initiate that work in the coming weeks as well.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else, Dave?
No, that's what I have.
You've been busy. Any questions, any further questions from council?
I'd like to make a suggestion. Dave, the 2 boat launches on, well, the one on Madawaska River, right in Madawaska, and the one at Bark Lake, obviously because the lake level is down this year, people are having a lot of trouble launching at both of those sites. They're actually launching to the sides of them in some cases and getting stuck. We can't do anything about it this year, but maybe think about putting it in the schedule or in the budget next spring to extend both of those launches, maybe another 8 feet. We only have a window of about a month or so in the spring normally to do that work, so it's time sensitive, but it's become quite a problem. And this is the second time in the last 10 or 12 years that the water has been slow coming up, or possibly not even coming up to summer level. So it could be a problem all year.
We can have a look at it. We did do some work to the one at the M&L Hall.
I know that, but that's stone, and you can't back down that far. I know it's better than it was last year. There's no question about that. But I was just thinking if we extend it to concrete.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yep, we can look at putting that in the work plans for next year when it's seasonal.
Like a small boat, it's not a problem. You can back onto that stone and get back off of it. But a big, heavy boat, it's another matter.
Okay.
Dave, I would appreciate if you would take some photos of the situation, on the Madawaska River in Madawaska, because talking to people, not just local staff that were involved with the freshet this year, they felt that there was some margin of error in the water management in the freshet this year. So it would be beneficial if we had some photos of where we are at this point in time.
Sure, I can get those. I haven't witnessed it myself, but I was told that there was work being done on the Bark Lake Dam, and it was, I guess, left open longer than normal. That was part of it. So I believe that would be OPG, but certainly I can get those pictures.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a question for Dave.
Go ahead, Councillor Harper.
Gallery Lake is the same, Dave. When the water goes down during the summertime, there isn't enough cement to get your trailer out into the water far enough to launch any size boat. You're into the gravel. The gravel seems to wash away at the bottom of the concrete. If that one could be looked at also and possibly extend that another 8-10 feet out, it would be very beneficial. Thank you.
Certainly, I can put that on the list to look at.
Okay. Anything further for Dave?
I have a couple of questions, Dave, regarding the branding signs. Are new signs going along at the entrances to the township along the provincial highways?
Yes.
Okay. Could you look at the one on Highway 127 at at the Mackenzie Lake entrance there at the boundary? It appears that it's about 4 feet if the posts were 4 feet higher, we just get the advantage of the sign. It just seems like it's down in a hole and it's just not high enough.
They actually met us at that sign location and restricted us to that height. I think I will try and ask that question again because I know exactly what you mean. And according to this Bush Country Highway sign guide, we should be allowed to have that higher. That was actually the MTO officer that came out and set that elevation at the time. I think that officer has since retired, and our contractor seems to have some more inroads to another MTO officer, and I will look into it.
Well, I see the other ones, the one down towards Allen Lake is excellent, and the one at the Gala coming from the park. And if you do get that officer down there and you disagree, take them down the road about 200, 300 yards, maybe a little more, and show them the one that's at the top of the red pine plantation.
Yes,
That's within about 10 feet of the road. It's almost too high in a township, our neighboring township.
mhm.
I'm sure we've all seen it. So anyway, certainly a difference in the heights there, and anyway, the one is much too low. And another question is, Dave, I looked at the sign location at Hay Lake, and it appears that the post might be there's one red post, and it's sort of between the two parking lots. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay, I guess, and I never got to see the one at Mackenzie, but I think it's important, and maybe important at all locations, that they don't interfere with loading areas for building material for boat access cottages, because we certainly don't want the people using the boat launches to load that material. And sometimes they use just off to the side of the launch, and in Hay Lake, that was one of the particular locations that I was concerned about. And it would be the same reason, say at Mackenzie too. So it just make it easier and maybe less damage to what facilities we do have now. So anyway, also McCrae Lake Road, McCrae Hay Lake Road. What work are you going to get done there this year?
Well, I'm going to be talking to the contractor on Highway 127 about trying to get a price on that deep culvert we spoke about before.
Okay.
To line it or do something with it. And we hope to get to some of the problem culverts there as well. So that would probably be more of a July, August schedule. And I think I could bring you more information and an update the asset management meeting at the end of June.
Okay, good. Because I have to attend a meeting with the Cottage Association, and I just they're concerned about what's going to happen. So I want to be accurate with my information. Now, also regarding that parking lot, I'd appreciate if you re-look at that, where that winter parking lot, like it hasn't been used much the last 2 winters, and it's because of COVID, there's no question, and possibly because of slush in the winter, but I would say it was COVID related that the people just didn't show up. So, but I think if you re-looked at it, and if a couple of loads of gravel was spread between right at the junction there to the right of the parking lot as you approach it to going towards the mill site, it would just make it look more, it would improve the appearance drastically, and make it easier for the snow plow, etc. in the winter. And I'd appreciate if you re-look at that, and thanks. And also, pardon?
Oh, I was going to say that that project is still listed as a work in progress, so we do intend to get back with some gravel there.
Okay, thank you very much. Good to hear. The brusher, we briefly talked this spring, and will the brusher be able to make it in the Pastois Lake Road? to do some work this summer.
Certainly hope so. We had a warranty, an internal failure under warranty, and we've just received the part to repair it. The motor mount cracked on it, and it was, they took full responsibility, so we received it, and it should be back in action by next week. So when we move into that area, we're trying to sort of complete operations where we go, you know, brush, change culverts, improve drainage, and then move to the next spot. So we would like to get back into Sabine, and I think I'd have more information again for the asset management meeting.
Okay, and I looked at, I can bring it up at the asset management meeting regarding a culvert, but there was an email going around between you and the Cottage Association and myself, and I'm just wondering if you have had time or able to find the information that they were looking for regarding that dumpster.
Yeah, we have been looking for the letter specifically, and I'm not sure where it has gone. Tracy's been looking for it, and Carla as well. We will find it. I remember the gist of it all, and I think we're still in contact with them too, but as soon as we find it, we will forward it to them.
Okay, I appreciate it if you keep me informed. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, we look forward to the asset management meeting for follow-up, Dave, and thank you very much. Okay, council reports. Are any council have anything they wish to report?
Mayor, it's Richard again, and sorry taking up the time, but while we were scheduling the meeting, I looked at the calendar, and the calendar I have seems to have a lot of American information on it, but what I did notice that it says June 21st, National Aboriginal Day, and I'm just thinking it would be appropriate for you to recognize. I would second it, but I think you should move a motion to recommend or consider moving a motion to recognize National Aboriginal Day. I just think it'd be very appropriate this season for sure.
And how would you, maybe we need to talk at that at HR and admin committee meeting, we would have time.
Well, it's saying June 21st. And it says, if you just had a motion just to say, you know, the mayor recognizes our National Aboriginal Day in Canada on June 21st. And maybe someone in the office there could confirm this on the computer. I have no way of being at the meeting, but I did notice this on my calendar, and I just think based on the news recently, I think it'd be a good gesture.
Well, I appreciate the suggestion, and I would return that back to Brian and staff, because this has to be thoughtful and done appropriately. And I think to do something, if you were suggesting that we do something now for this meeting, I'm not prepared to agree to that, because wording is very important when you do these things. And I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but not at this point without, thoughtful wording and appropriate wording on such a thing. So thank you for that. And I would, we did recognize by, the lowering of the flags, etc. And I think that was a very good suggestion, and appreciate that as well. But Brian, have you any thoughts on Councillor Shallow's suggestion?
Yeah, Mayor Dumas, certainly June 21st is National Aboriginal Day. We could certainly provide a release of some sort on the website if you wished later under your signature. We could craft something and forward that off for your review and approval. If you wished us to do that, Mayor Dumas, we could arrange that.
I would appreciate that, Richard. I would really appreciate having the opportunity to look at the wording, etc. And we could put that out on our website for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. All right. Oh, yes, Councillor Harper.
I'd like to take this point in time. There is a library meeting on Monday, June the 7th at 7 p.m. if anybody's interested. And also, I'd like to take this point in time in acknowledging and thanking the children from Kids Castle, our daycare center, and the volunteers for the work they put into planting the flowers at the Glary Lake Memorial Park. They've done a lot to spruce up the town, and I think it looks great up there. Thank them very much.
Well, thank you for that, Dave. I will make an effort. I'm going into town later, so I'll check it out. So thank you for making us aware of that. All right, agenda item number 8, business arising from the minutes. Was there any business arising from the minutes?
Mayor, I was wondering, I just have a very small council report.
Oh, certainly, Councilor Bongo, go ahead.
Sure, no problem. I've joined the Friends of Algonquin Park Board. So I now sit on the board of the FOAP. That is the nonprofit that manages the interpretive programs, as well as the installation of interpretive panels and the publication of maps and books related to Algonquin Park. My orientation session was earlier this Monday. And then my very first board of directors meeting will be on June 19th. So I know a lot of other councillors are involved with various other kinds of boards throughout the community. And so that's the latest one that I've become a member of. And I just wanted to get that out there.
Well, congratulations and thank you. I'm sure that will be a very informative and enjoyable board to be a member of. So thank you for that information. Okay. Number 9, unfinished business. Okay. Correspondence action items. We did not have anything in our council package at this point in time. And 11 correspondence information items. There aren't any. And as Brian alluded to, he's busy catching up on emails, etc. So we will see more information coming, I'm sure. Who was that? I didn't hear who that was in the background. No one? Okay. Number 12, any new business? No. So we are now at agenda item 13, motions of council. And I have this motion moved by Councillor Harper and seconded by Councillor Florent. Whereas the old Erie Township van was, I have to read it from my own account, sorry. Whereas the old Erie Township van that was stationed in Madawaska and used as a bush truck response vehicle has been removed from service. Therefore, the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin declares the vehicle as surplus. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I would call the vote. Councillor Collins?
Or
Councillor Florent?
Or
Councillor Harper?
Or
Councillor Bongo?
For.
Councillor Shala? Councillor Shala? Okay, Councillor Vermeer?
Or
Okay, it's carried. The next resolution, I have that moved by Councillor Collins and seconded by Councillor Vermeer. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin accepts the recommendation provided by the CAO Clerk Treasurer staff report dated June 2nd, 2021. That eliminates the requirement for the mayor to sign off on staff time sheets other than the CAOs. Any discussion? I call the vote. Councillor Collins?
or
Councillor Florent?
or
Councillor Harper?
or
Councillor Bongo?
For.
Councillor Shala?
Or
Councillor Vermeer?
or
It's carried. And the next resolution, which one is this one? Sorry. All right, I have this resolution moved by Councillor Shala and seconded by Councillor Bongo. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin accepts the recommendation provided by the CAO Clerk Treasurer's staff report dated June 2nd, 2021, that eliminates the review and approval of the expenses by council if it has already been approved as part of the annual budget. Any discussion? Call the vote. Councillor Collins?
or
Councillor Florent?
or
Councillor Harper?
or
Councillor Bongo?
For.
Councillor Shala?
or
Councillor Vermeer?
or
It's carried. And this is where we have the resolution that Councillor Florent requested, and it's moved by Councillor Florent and seconded by Councillor Collins. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin supports the resolution received from the Corporation of the Township of Terrace Bay, Resolution number 122-2021, regarding advocacy to reform the MFIPPA Act, that's the MFIPPA Act, sorry. The Ministry of Government and Consumer Services are being requested to review the MFIPPA and consider recommendations for change. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Florent?
Just for a second, this is the Freedom of Information Act, and it's just bringing the legislation forward or up to date with common practice and make it a little bit less onerous for the townships. It's not really fair the way it is right now, and I think this will help to correct some of that.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for bringing that forward, and I would call the vote if there are any other questions in regards to this? If not, Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
4.
Councillor Harper,
Or,
Councillor Bongo,
Or,
Councillor Shala,
For,
Councillor Vermeer.
Or,
It's carried. Thank you. Item 14, are there any notices of motion? Hearing none, we have 2 bylaws. The first bylaw, I have the first and second reading moved by Councillor Florent and seconded by Councillor Collins, being a bylaw under the provisions of Section 228 and Section 229 of the Municipal Act, RSO 2001, C.25 as amended, to appoint a CAO clerk treasurer who shall have all the powers and duties of said offices under the Municipal Act and every other act, and that it be read a first and second time and be referred to the Committee of the Whole Council. I would call the vote on that. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
4.
Councillor Harper,
or,
Councillor Bongo,
or,
Councillor Shala,
For,
and Councillor Vermeer.
or,
And the third reading, I have this moved by Councillor Harper and seconded by Councillor Bongo. The third reading, being a bylaw to provide for the appointment of a CAO clerk treasurer as referred by the Committee of the Whole of Council. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, and that it be read a third time and passed in number 21-641, and that said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the CAO clerk treasurer, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be entered into the bylaw book. I would call the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
4.
Councillor Harper,
or,
Councillor Bongo,
for,
Councillor Shala,
For,
Councillor Vermeer.
or,
It's carried. Thank you. Let me see here. The next one is, let me see. Oh, what did I do here? I'm sorry, I just got to get my first and second reading here. All right. Okay, I have this moved by Councillor Shala, seconded by Councillor Vermeer, the first and second reading, being a bylaw to appoint signing officers at the Toronto Dominion Bank and Desjardins Caisse Populaire, sorry for the French here, de Voyageurs Inc., for all bank accounts operated by the Township of South Algonquin, and that it be read a first and second time and be referred to the Committee of the Whole of Council. Call the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
4.
Councillor Harper,
or,
Councillor Bongo,
for,
Councillor Shala,
For,
and Councillor Vermeer.
or,
Thank you. And the third reading. I have this moved by, no, I don't have it. Okay. Councillor Harper and seconded by Councillor Collins, being a bylaw, the third reading being a bylaw to appoint the signing officers at the Toronto Dominion Bank and Desjardins Caisse Populaire de Voyageurs Inc. for the bank accounts operated by the Township of South Algonquin as referred by the Committee of the Whole of Council. Any discussion? Hearing none, and that it be read a third time and passed in number 21-642, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and the CAO clerk treasurer, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be entered into the bylaw book. Calling the vote, Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Harper,
Or
sorry, Councillor Florent, I get out of line. Councillor Florent,
Or.
Councillor Bongo,
For.
Councillor Shala,
Or,
and Councillor Vermeer.
Or,
It's carried. We do not have any requirement, agenda item 16 to remove into closed session, sorry. So we're at 17, payment of accounts. I have this moved by Councillor Bongo and seconded by Councillor Collins. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin authorizes the payment of all bills as recorded for the meeting of June 2nd, 2021, batch 2021-000222 for $198,000, $146.46, and batch 2021-00024 for $23.39. Call the vote. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Harper,
or
Councillor Bongo,
For.
Councillor Shala,
or,
and Councillor Vermeer.
or,
All right, that's carried. So we're at agenda item number 18, adjournment. I have that moved by Councillor Florent and seconded by Councillor Harper. Be it resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adjourns the regular meeting of June 2nd, 2021 at, I have 10:23.
correct.
Did someone say something?
I did. I said correct.
Okay, thank you, David. Sorry. All right, I would call the vote on that. Councillor Collins,
For.
Councillor Florent,
For.
Councillor Bongo,
For.
Councillor Shala,
or.
Councillor Vermeer.
or.
So it's carried. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.